Thank you for joining us on Prime Flash, coming to you live from High Media Prime Television, where we bring you the latest stories in and out of Cameroon. We begin telling you what is happening in the country as one of the victims of the bomb blast during the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope has succumbed to death. That happened yesterday at the Boya Regional Hospital mortuary. Linda Mungo, who was in her late 20s, is reported to have died after having a cardiac arrest from the bomb blast. Linda, we are told, was only a spectator on that day, just like many others who came to cheer the athletes during the mountain race of hope. Meantime, her family has blamed the medical team for not being proactive on their daughter's case. Meanwhile, her children are also receiving medical attention over there. And meantime, several neighbors in the neighborhoods in the Douala municipality have remained without electricity since the night of February 28th, breaking the 1st of March due to the strong winds accompanied by a heavy downpour that characterized the night. Neighborhoods like the Cité Sikh, Ange Raphael, Bipanda, Daido, Ndokoti, amongst others, have all been plunged into darkness since then. The stem of it, we are told, many were taken by surprise when it happened. And now a woman over in Yaoundé and her 2 children are nowhere to be found after they boarded a taxi in the Van municipality there. The woman, whose name has been gotten as Aishatu Yasmin, left Douala with her 2 children of 3 years and 15 months old for Yaoundé, but did not reach the house after boarding a taxi from Van, according to her husband. The man also revealed that the wife's phone numbers are not going through. And away from that, the Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Sadi, through a communique, has said no one has the right to disseminate information, be it the media, on the murder case of late journalist Martinez Zogo when the forces of law and order who are in charge of the case have not done so. He says the investigations and information with regards to the case are confidential, as he further urged the population to remain calm and wait for the government to carry out proper investigations, as the results will be made public. And in more news, a handful of drivers have also mounted roadblocks in Zavion, a locality in the Babajun subdivision in the west region of the country. The drivers say they are tired of extortion from security forces stationed on the road, as they also accused the officers for creating new control post units on a daily basis. We keep on informing you, as after spending hundreds of days in detention, Amnesty International has called on the government of Cameroon to release Muslim scholar and activist Abdul Karim. Amnesty, in her recent release, has revealed that Karim has been detained since August 21st of 2022, alongside 2 others, as government is yet to provide reasons for his detention. The Muslim scholar, it should be recalled, is noted for criticizing military activities in the northwest region of Cameroon, as we definitely hope to bring you more details into that story. And away from Cameroon, let's talk politics in Nigeria, where Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been declared winner of Nigeria's presidential elections while beating out 2 other prominent candidates. And now the results came 3 days after criticism by observers for widespread logistical failings, violence, and also emanated during the votes, as we get details with Bo Elvis from Yaoundé.
As his motivation of becoming president. It is my turn to become president. Mr. Tinubu defeated key candidates who took part in the election. He scored a total of 8,794,726 votes, the highest of all the candidates, thus meeting the first constitutional requirement to be declared the winner. He also scored over 25% of the vote cast in 30 states, more than the 24 states constitutionally required. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu, who announced the final results in the early hours of Wednesday in Abuja, said Atiku Abubakar of the PDP came second in the election. Atiku polled a total of 6,984,520 votes in the election. Peter Obi of the Labour Party came third in the election with a total of 6,101,533 votes, while Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNPP came fourth with 1,496,687 votes. One good turn deserves another. After helping President Buhari to become president, Buhari in turn gave all his support for Tinubu to succeed. If not for my support for President Buhari, he would not have become the president. He failed during the first time, failed the second time, and failed during the third trial. He even wept on national TV, vowed never to contest again. But I met with him in Kaduna and I told him to try again. That with my support he will win. But he must not joke with the Yorubas, and he agreed. Opposition parties in Nigeria have called for fresh elections after declaring the announced results as heavily doctored and manipulated. A reorganization is unlikely considering that since 1999, when Nigeria returned to democratic rule, each presidential election result has been challenged, in some cases the legal battle even reaching the Supreme Court. However, no results have ever been overturned.
And in related news, some Nigerians on Wednesday did protest in the streets of the federal capital of the country in Abuja, denouncing an alleged rigging of the 2023 presidential elections in favor of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They called carried out, placards that picked holes in the country's independent electoral commission, accusing them of manipulation and manipulating the VAS system. And over in the west region of Cameroon, forest scarcity continues to rock the city of Bafoussam 5 days now, as we are told in the report coming up that travelers are making arrangements prelude to their traveling dates just in a bid to secure their spaces. Get details.
Since Saturday, February 25, 2023, forest scarcity has been rocking the city of Bafoussam and its environs, handicapping travel agencies, especially those plying the Bafoussam, Douala, and Yaoundé highways respectively, from satisfying their clients. There are vehicles where there's forest scarcity. Can we transport passengers without fuel? Nonetheless, the customers are left to suffer the brunt of the effects. Since 2 days, we've been moving from Bamungu, Fumban, as well as Bafoussam in search of fuel, to no avail. So now, we only get to Fumbot, buy fuel before heading to Douala. With a good number of passengers now stranded with their luggages by the roadside due to the fuel scarcity situation, the cry is common everywhere. There's fuel scarcity and prices are already skyrocketing from 5,000 to 10,000 francs and more. So what we do now is to buy from Douala before ascending over here. There's scarcity and this is getting off hands because we can't understand anymore. Prices have been increased, but there is still scarcity of fuel back here. While they await an official administrative communique to address the situation soonest, passengers too, on the other hand, can only choose to remain responsible through these perilous times with the collaboration of the drivers.
And you're watching the 9:30 a.m. Prime Flash coming to you live from My Media Prime Television. And in more news, activities to mark the 2023 edition of the International Women's Day have been launched here in the Littoral region, especially precisely at the Littoral Regional Governor's Office, in a meeting which was chaired by a representative of the governor. And to hear more with Naivona in the report coming up.
The 2023 edition of Women's Day will be celebrated under the theme For an Inclusive Digital World, Innovation and Technologies for Gender Equality. During the official launching ceremony in the Littoral region, which took place at the Littoral Governor's Office in Bonajo Douala, women from all walks of life were called upon to be peace ambassadors and actively participate in nation building. This action that we've taken today is to sensitize women, especially those with marital problems, and not only women but young girls and mothers, and to teach them how to use computers and the social media, and also to be responsible users of the social media. So I urge them to go back to their various quarters and continue the sensitization as well as the general public, both social media users and non-users. For 1 week, women within the 4 divisions of the Littoral region will be drilled on diverse empowerment projects, as well as how to commercialize their products on digital platforms. For this year, during this week, the Douala tool will focus on the production of detergents and at the same time educate and sensitize women on violence, sexual harassment, and how the women can support the home and the society so that they can, like others, excel. To some of these phenomenal women, the 1 week campaign is an opportunity for women to fight for their rights.
When you go into it, during all this week, we are going to see that it's a good subject for the family, for women, to let the women know that they are not, this subject, this domain is not for men. It's also for them, and they should come into it to fight for their rights. They should come into it to fight against violence.
Like previous years, activities to be carried out during this week are all in preparation for the 2023 International Women's Day, which many await with enthusiasm.
And happy Women's Day to you, Naivona, given that you are a woman as well. And now, renowned barrister at law Nsungkikang Hale has been recognized with a certificate as the Roving Ambassador for Peace 2022. The ceremony, which has been highly attended by men and women of the press, will now be detailed in the report coming up, done for us by Julian Dambi.
Smiles, words of appreciation and gratitude was the expressions of Tumfor barrister Nsungkikang Hale as he accepted the award as the Roving Ambassador for Peace 2022 on Tuesday, February 28, 2023 in Douala, economic capital of Cameroon.
The award is a motivational tool. Awards motivate. They are a booster for you even to do better. So when you talk about these awards, there are 3 of them. I've already dedicated them to my parents, my family and friends, and then of course to the media, to those who love peace and who are fighting against the decadence of society, moral decadence, I mean.
The award was presented to the renowned lawyer by the Watchdog Tribune Media Group that has for some years now organized the National Press Award of Excellence for Champions of Peace and Living Together. And the 2022 awardee, Barrister Tumfor Nsungkikang Hale, indicated the award comes to add to several national and international awards he's received for his outstanding works in standing for peace and defending the rights of minorities in society.
It makes 166 award that I've had nationally and internationally. This number only humbles me because I don't know whether there are people who even have 10, 20 or 30 awards, but you're counting 166 awards. You can only give glory to God, because for me, it's a miracle.
Aged 66 years, the barrister equally used the opportunity to thank God for his life and all he has achieved in his career.
Whatever I do brings glory to God, our Maker, and I'm asking myself, how can I impact the society in which I find myself? And so I have that in mind each time I get up from bed in the morning, and I let Papa, Lord, lead me throughout this day to be your blessed son, to do what is praiseworthy on your side. And the Lord has always led me, blessed me, guided me.
Barrister Nico Hale has positioned himself as one of Cameroon's outstanding figures, preaching peace, especially at a time the country suffers from violent unrest in the English-speaking regions, and so he's highly deserving of this award.
Thank you very much, Dylan Dambi, as your report concludes today's edition of Prime Flash, which has been coming to you from My Media Prime Television. The newscast was produced by Elvis, Modika, and I have been Dolly Ngonde for presentation. The news was coordinated by Faith Tata, and general supervision came from Kum Leonard. Coming up at exactly 10 a.m. is the brief with Lasha Kingsley, where the top headlines of the newspapers will be analyzed for your viewership. At 11 o'clock, In the House comes up next, as well as at 12:30 p.m. Country News comes up in the Pidgin language with Master Talk Talk. Many more interesting programs will be yours if you choose to stay with us. But for now, goodbye and have a blessed day.